I can't believe I have to deal with math as much as I do in my life. But I thought maybe some numbers would help to get the point across. And so I did a little research. You know, this is how we do research now. I did a little research. In the year 2007, 18.2 million people went to college. They were enrolled in college. 18.2 million people. I thought, there's no way that can be right. That's too many. Right? But then I thought about it. It's easy to go to college. Right? You fill out some forms, you send it in. It's easy to go to college, but to finish, to get a degree, is the tricky part. And so I did a little more research to find out how many people get a degree. 28% get a degree. 28%. So 1 out of 4, if that's good math. 1 out of 4. You're that 1 out of 4. Landon, you're 1 out of 4. That's it. Wes, 1 out of 4. Christopher, 3 other people stopped when you didn't. And that's amazing. And you should be very proud of that. I'm not a math person. I'm a history person. I know, a history geek. There are people who are geekier about it than I am, though, just for the record. Not up here. Elsewhere in the world, there are geekier historians. And people will say, often math people, why do we need to study history? And then usually there's someone who says, well, you know, if you don't study history, you're doomed to repeat it. I've never been a big fan of that idea. Right? It just sounds mean. Right? It's like, take a history class or you're doomed. So I've never been comfortable with that. I like more the idea that you study history to know who you are. It explains things today. You have those, oh, I get it kind of moments. For example, let's say you watch the news, which I highly recommend. Y'all know I'm a news junkie. I highly recommend it. It's the best reality TV there is. Something interesting is always happening. So you start watching the news, and you might be puzzled, what is this going on in the Middle East? When you study world history, you then learn why it's important to Jewish people to have Israel as a refuge. You understand why Palestinians aren't happy with that. You might not take a stand in that, but you understand it better. It makes more sense to you. On a national level, when you study U.S. history, you learn all kinds of fabulous, wonderful things about our country, the best country in the world, but you also learn about oppression against black people, oppression against immigrants, oppression against women. And then you can feel all the more proud that some of you are here and some of us are up here, that you're getting a college degree, that we've come to this point. And you might have a better understanding of why everybody was so worked up about the last election. And I know young people were certainly more worked up about the last election than others. But when you see, when you know the whole story and see how far we've come, that during the campaign we had a viable black candidate for the first time and 2 viable women candidates. And of course you like one more than the other, right, because they didn't agree politically. But it makes you understand better who we are as a country and who y'all are now as college graduates. And it also makes other things make sense too, right? You understand why Oprah was crying all over that strange man there in Chicago and so forth. It just makes more sense when you know more about it. And I know some of the older folks in the audience are saying, well, do you really have to point this out to people? You know, I mean, it's right there. Do you really have to point it out? And we do. We do have to keep pointing these things out. I don't know if y'all realize this. We are currently teaching students who were born in 1991. 1991. They were 10 years old on September 11th. And before we blink, I'm going to be trying to explain the power of September 11th to people who have no memory of it whatsoever. And I'm going to be trying to explain to them how it has contributed to who we are as a country. And then on a personal level, your history has made you who you are. Good, bad, or ugly. It has made you who you are. Okay, graduates. Raise your hand if at least one of your parents has a college degree. If at least one parent has a college degree. I have to repeat things. It's an occupational hazard. Okay. A little less than half. I'm sure I should know the exact number, but It's math and it stalks me. So a little less than half. You might be sitting there today getting your college degree because your parents had a college degree. You might be sitting there today getting your college degree because your parents didn't get a college degree. One way or the other, y'all have been affected by your history, your family history, and so forth. And you've done something that puts you in an elite group of people to get that degree. But I would caution you, you really don't ever need to think that you're smarter than people who don't have a college degree. Neither one of my parents has a college degree, and I will never be smarter than they are. And they tell me that often. I may know more about female abolitionists in the 1840s and 1850s. That gets you far in life. But my parents taught me the valuable things in life. Right? They taught me to be responsible for myself and my life, to be honest, to put in a good hard day's work, to respect that in other people, and to stick with my values. And today, I guess one of the more important things is to find a job you love. I love my job. And I'm not just saying that because Dr. Black sit right there. I love my job. All right, y'all, those of you who've had me first thing in the morning know I can be obnoxious about that. I am accustomed to being the most excited person in the room. I accept that not everyone wants to talk about New Deal economic programs at 8 o'clock on a Monday morning. I get that. I understand. And sometimes I don't really want to talk about that. It's the art of teaching, the act of teaching that I love. And I believe in it. And the day I stop believing it is the day I'll walk away from it. So, 20-something commencement addresses over the years. They all seem to end with a piece of advice, and so I'll follow that pattern. It's nothing profound. Don't get excited. But I would say stick with your values. Put in a good, honest day's work at a job you love and believe in. It doesn't have to be glamorous. Just do it honestly, do it well. Take responsibility for yourself and your life. Take care of your family. And you're going to be okay. It's a bit of a cliche, but it's because it works. It's what will work for you. I don't really know how to get across to you how appreciative I am of this honor, especially now that it's almost done. So I'm very appreciative of it. I thank you very much for listening. I haven't seen anyone text. That's wonderful. Thank you. I don't often feel comfortable speaking for other people, but I will speak on behalf of the faculty and staff at East Georgia College. We congratulate you. We're proud of you. And we wish you the very best in your future. Thank you.